Have you ever been taken advantage of and you just needed to wait until the right time to deal with a situation? Well, we're going to be talking about that today from Genesis chapter 34. Hey guys, and welcome back to God's Word Made Simple by Simple Servant Ministries. My name is Aaron Hawk, and if this is your first time visiting with us today, I just want to say welcome and thank you for joining us today. God's Word Made Simple is an online discipleship ministry dedicated to taking God's Word and making it simple. We want to help you understand God's Word, apply it to your life, and grow in your relationship with the Lord. Also, at some point, if you appreciate this ministry and content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that bell notification to all so you don't miss any future videos. We would love to have you as part of our family. Okay guys, so today we are doing Genesis chapter 34, and we're only doing verses 1 through 12. So today is really a setup for next week and on. So if you haven't caught anything in this saga, go ahead, catch my Genesis series in general. I'll put a card up there for that. And then specifically within this section, if you haven't caught it before, catch chapter 33 so that you'll kind of know what we're talking about. Bottom line, Jacob just settled in the land back with his brother, so that's where we're jumping in. And remember now, Jacob is the new name for Israel, Israel is the new name for Jacob. So anyway, let's move on in chapter 34, verse 1. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had borne to Jacob, went out to visit the daughters of the land. So making friends, seeing the neighbors, that kind of stuff. When Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, the prince of the land, saw her, he took her and lay with her by force. In other words, he raped her. He was deeply attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the girl and spoke tenderly to her. And you may be thinking, so what? It's not right, and it was considered rape, and you will see here in a little bit in this story that this is not considered okay, but it also was not uncommon during this time period. So this would have been an egregious sin against your neighbor, for sure, but it's not entirely uncommon during this time period, especially when various groups would have intermarried for political reasons. And the way that you handle that is typically very cautiously because of the political turmoil. If you retaliate too strongly, if that is a thing, then there are going to be major political consequences. And obviously, if political consequences, then literal physical consequences as well. Not the point, not a justification, so don't misunderstand me. I'm just explaining the culture in this day and time. So anyway, verse 4. So Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, "Get me this young girl for a wife." So, stupid guy, jerk, obviously, rapes her, but he has every intention of marrying her because he has fallen in love with her. Not exactly Romeo and Juliet, but okay. Verse 5. Now Jacob heard that he had defiled... So I told you, the Bible's not excusing this or saying it's okay. Sometimes people misunderstand that. Got to be careful with that. Anyway, now Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter, but his sons were with his livestock in the field. So Jacob kept silent until they came in. So Jacob was a bit older at this point. I don't remember exactly how old. I've lost track if it even tells us. But he's a bit older. Plus, he's just one man in a land surrounded by people that are all related to each other and have been there for a very long time. So Jacob, being the strategist that he is, he knows that there's really nothing he can do yet. So he waits because his sons are out in the field. That's also why, by the way, in Proverbs, I forget which one it is, we'll put the link down here, but it talks about how a man is blessed when his quiver is full, right? In that day and age especially, having a large family was a huge benefit for your security, safety, and political reasons. Anyway, he kept silent until they came in. In other words, till the troops came home. Then Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to speak with him. Now the sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it. So they came in, they were already aware. We're going to see next week. So if you haven't subscribed, by the way, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Catch next week's video, and don't forget to turn that bell notification. All right. Now the sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very angry because he had done a disgraceful thing in Israel. Interesting that it's already referring to in Israel, right? This is an example of the person that wrote this referring back to this being the nation of Israel at that point. Anyway, and by the way, it's generally accepted that Moses wrote Genesis, so that's a little random trivia for you. Anyway, let's go back. Let me just reread verse 7 because I'm getting off topic. Now the sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very angry because he had done a disgraceful thing in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter. For such a thing ought not to be done. I mean, this is kind of common sense. You don't really need a book of law to tell you that you don't rape someone. It's a common issue in modern America is to discuss this, and people want to act like people think rape is okay. That's not the case, and I'm not getting mixed up in all the SJW stuff, but just be aware there's essentially no one that says rape is okay, and the people that do, well, I have other thoughts about them. But let's read on. Verse 8, but Hamor spoke with them, saying, the soul of my son, he knew they were upset, the soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him in marriage. Now again, in this day and age, because of the political nature of living amongst warring factions, there was no police, there was no court of law. It was might makes right. So bear in mind, it would not have been unusual for this to happen, for them to say, okay, go ahead and marry my daughter, because also in this time period, in this culture, for a woman not to be a virgin when she was married was a big deal. So she's already ruined from the perspective of their culture. So the least you could do is have her get married, and hey, to make it better, you have a much larger family to help protect you from even greater enemies. That's not a right way of thinking, morally speaking, but from a survival standpoint, that's why it was not uncommon. All right, anyway, that's basically what Hamor is proposing. I think it's Hamor. Anyway, I've told you guys before, don't be afraid to murder names. Just press on. All right, anyway, verse 9, intermarry with us, give us your daughters, or give your daughters to us, and take our daughters for yourself. Again, this was common. You can even see the same thing happening in what we would call the Middle Ages of the kings and knights in Western history. It's just a common thing. Verse 10, thus you shall live with us, and the land shall be open before you. So pointing out all the political, socioeconomic, and military reasons to do this. Live and trade in it and acquire property in it. Because at this point, he's just bought one little section of land. Verse 11, Shechem also said to her father and to her brothers. So now he's speaking up. If I find favor in your sight... but that wasn't actually saying, that was not a sincere, hey, I'm an upright guy if you think I'm an upright guy. This isn't your romanticized asking the father for permission to marry. Really what he's doing is he's using a political move. Hey, if I find favor in your sight, then do this, because my dad's just pointed out all the reasons that you should, right? Anyway, and I think the kid was probably being sincere, but it's a political statement. Every indication here is that the kid genuinely loved her, even though he did her wrong. That's kind of twisted, but welcome to humanity. Anyway, if I find favor in your sight, then I will give whatever you say to me. So, blank check, I don't care. I want her so bad that I'm willing to do anything. Ask me ever so much bridal payment and gift, and I will give according as you say to me. But give me this girl in marriage. Move sun, moon, and stars. I don't care what it costs me. The old joke about, I'd give my left arm for her, right? Some of you are laughing. Some of you are going, huh? It's okay. He's willing to do whatever it takes. And as we will find out next week, he really will do whatever it takes. Anyway, That's all I have time for today. I want to keep this video shorter because the next section is going to be interesting. So make sure that you are subscribed. If you appreciate this ministry and this content, make sure and hit that like button, subscribe, turn that bell notification to all so you don't miss any future videos. We would love to have you as part of our family. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. But like I said in the beginning, this is really kind of a connecting story between the previous section and the upcoming section. So stay tuned next week. All right, guys, God bless and thank you very much.